All right, welcome to the IT 490 draft project proposal um, on 6/1. So the vision statement that we chose is for Delta Seri Healthcare. It aims to provide a world class healthcare experience to its patients by integrating innovative IT solutions into its operations. With the IT project, it's going to include implementing a cloud based CRM. We aim to enhance the current infrastructure, make it more efficient, secure, user friendly. The goal is to create a seamless experience for our patients, healthcare providers, and administrative staff, improving patient outcomes and satisfaction. The chose it just to decide we decided to move to this cloud because it's more secure for the current infrastructure in place at Delta Seri. CRM is going to be a little more user friendly, which over time will allow the staff to increase their time with the patients, which will allow them to give the proper care and the care that we look to provide for them at Delta Seri, giving the patients a better experience to leading to a more satisfied patient. The methodology we're going to use for the project is Agile. Agile will break the project several phases. We usually call them sprints. It allows for any pivots or changes if necessary throughout the course of the project as we get into it and see that maybe an objective needs to go this way or to the left or to the right. It also allows communication for the project owners to ensure that their needs are being met. Um, and they're a vital part in the planning process to know that what the needs are from them and what the requirement is. This is where how we'll get the scope for the project. Um, the project then will go into the execution phase where the CRM will be designed, developed, and get built out into testing. Once testing happens, uh, it, once testing starts to happen, we'll ensure that the objectives of the business owners are being met, the requirements of the business owner are being met, and if we need to go back and change anything, we can, and we'll start back over to the execution phase and go back into testing. So eventually, we can close out the project as being met. The scope, project scope is part of the planning phase. It involves documenting, determining list of goals, deliverables, task costs, deadlines, all of that we'll get from working with the business owners. The schedule will come from the project scope as we lay out more um, tasks and deliverables. We'll be able to better understand the schedule of the project. The scope and the schedule do rely on each other to ensure the project does stay on course and is meeting the objectives laid out. The planning of the project, as I said, planning the project is for research, and we'll get with the business owners. We'll discuss what they need, what the objectives are, what the requirements are, what they're looking to achieve. Then this will lay out the scope. Um, that because we'll document it. The documentation is the scope statement. It's going to set the boundaries of the project to make sure that we're staying on course and within the scope of the project and not deviating from it. This will also then allow us to assign out tasks. When we assign out tasks, we'll be able to determine how long each task will take for the schedule, and then we'll be able to relay that schedule back to the owners to communicate how long this project is going to take and what we think we're going to need. The risk management plan. Risk management is systematically identifying, analyzing, and addressing potential risks. Um, Basically, we're going to look at the project. We're going to figure out what risks could possibly come up, plan for those risks, how could we mitigate those risks, and the best way to keep that project moving forward. Risk for Delta Seri for going to the cloud, system compatibility, security vulnerabilities, bugs, data mitigation issues, things like that. Um, for system compatibility, we'll meet with the cloud server. And get them to do a consult with us. We'll lay out our system needs and what our system requires. We'll see if it's compatible. We'll also get a testing scenario, get them to give us a test server in their cloud so we can test and make sure that they are getting to see, sure they can handle Delta Series CRM. Then on top of that, we'll work with them to ensure compatibility as long as the project is moving forward. Then for like data mitigation, anytime we move data to the cloud, we'll 100% back up the data before any move happens to ensure data is secured and safe, so we don't lose any. These are just different ways that the project team plans to show the business owners of how we're going to be able to identify risk and move forward and mitigate these risks to ensure that we're achieving their goals and achieving the objectives needed for this project to move and stay on time and give them what they're looking for in the overall. These are the references, and the link will be in the paper.